When we're talking about landing pages, one of the more obvious measurements that shows us that people don't like our page or aren't finding the information they need is the bounce rate. I always like to look at bounce rate reports because that shows me what's happening and what specific pages, and then ultimately what keywords are delivering people to a place they don't find relevant. That's the key. And so when I look at a bounce page report, the important things that I'm looking for are, number one, the entry page. I want to know what page it is. I want to know how many people visited that page. And then I want to look at the bounce rate. Those are the three most important numbers. The views per visit aren't as important, but if I see that there's only one view per visit, one page, that's concerning. If I see that it eventually goes to a 2-page, maybe 3 pages per visit, that means that a few people are going and spending a lot of time. So there's a small percentage of people that it is relevant for. What's most concerning when I see a single page view and a high bounce rate, because that means that the people that are finding this page for a specific set of keywords don't see any information that's relevant to them beyond that first page. They're not getting further into the website. They're not moving in, or they're not looking at related content. And especially when I see that there are no conversions and no sales, that's concerning. And so I want to make a note of all of the pages that have extremely high bounce rates. Anything in the 90s, of course, anything in the 100% range. I'm going to make a note of all of these. I also want to make sure that I've got enough visitors comparatively that show a good amount of data. If I only have 3 or 4 visitors and a 100% bounce rate, I'm not concerned. If I have, in relation to the rest of the visitors on my site, a few hundred or a good representative sample of people coming to the page and a high bounce rate, I'm going to be watching that. So I first highlight the pages that I'm very interested in and that I know need some investigation. On the other side, I do want to take a look and anything that might be a higher bounce rate, but yet I see people are booking, it is converting, and people are staying longer. That page needs to be looked at differently. Maybe I'm not utilizing the structures on the page as well as I can in order to convert those people. I'm only converting 1.5 out of 100. There's definitely room for improvement. So I look at this page differently as I've got to improve my message on this page. The ones that have 100 or very high 90% bounce rates, that tells me there's a problem in making a connection to the searcher. So one of the things I'll do is I'll make note of each of the landing pages, and then I'll go to my Webmaster Tools. I'm showing the Bing Webmaster Tools here, and I will find the pages that have the high bounce rates on my page traffic report. I will click on the page traffic report, find the URL of the web page in question, and then I'll go all the way to the right for search keywords. That report will show me which words are sending traffic to that page. Now, I have the words that people are using in order to find that page. I can examine those words, and then what I always recommend people to do is to have that specific page open on your computer at the same time. Look to make sure that you're using those words on the page. That's the first step to a high bounce rate, is when people search for one subject, but that subject is not addressed on the page. If they don't see it anywhere there as they scan, they're going to leave immediately. So ensure that the words that you are ranking for appear somewhere on the page and in a place that's most logical. Also, look at the tone of the words. Does the tone of your page match the intent of the searcher? It's really a level of diagnosis. There are many, many factors which would cause people to leave your site. And what you want to do is look at the page, look at the keywords that people are finding it for, and make a diagnosis. It could be also that your goals are not clear. What do you want someone to do? Is it visible when they come to the page that you have additional content, links to other articles, specific goals, or abilities for them to engage? Or is it simply a lack of relevance, that what they are finding your page for is the wrong information, and you may have the wrong page ranking for the right keywords. That's always a concern. Maybe you don't have a clear call to action on the page, and after people read through the information, they simply don't see what they're supposed to do. As I said, you could have the right ranking for the wrong page. That takes a little bit more evaluation, and then also looking to see what other page might be more relevant. But ultimately, the primary reason I find for bounce rates is that the content doesn't match the intent. Make sure that what people are looking for can be easily found on the page. Reflect the same words and phrases that you find in your keyword research, but also double-check it against the words showing up in your analytics to make sure that you are presenting the best page for this search.